Kindness is one of the most beautiful qualities we can show to others. It creates bonds, fosters love, and makes the world a better place. Yet, there's a fine line between kindness that uplifts and kindness that drains. Gautama Buddha, known for his timeless wisdom, shared stories and lessons that reveal the importance of balancing kindness with self-awareness. This story explores how Buddha addressed the issue of being too kind, offering guidance on how to practice kindness without losing yourself in the process. In ancient India, in the city of Shravasti, a wealthy merchant was known for his immense generosity. He helped anyone who came to him, providing food, money, and shelter without hesitation. The merchant believed that his acts of kindness would bring him inner peace and spiritual fulfillment. However, over the years, the merchant began to notice something troubling. Many of the people he helped did not express gratitude. Instead, they returned with greater demands, sometimes even taking advantage of his good nature. Despite his wealth, the merchant felt exhausted, frustrated, and unfulfilled. The joy he once felt in giving had been replaced by a sense of emptiness. One day, he decided to visit Gautama Buddha, who was known for his profound insights into life's challenges. Bowing respectfully, the merchant said, "Lord Buddha, I have always believed in kindness and generosity. Yet I feel drained and unappreciated. People ask for more and more, and I find it hard to say no. Am I wrong to be kind?" Buddha listened with his usual calm demeanor. After a moment, he said, "Kindness is indeed a virtue, but like all virtues, it must be practiced with wisdom. Let me share a story with you." The merchant leaned forward, eager to hear the Buddha's words. Buddha began, "There once lived a snake in a village. It was a dangerous snake, known for biting anyone who came too close. People in the village feared it and kept their distance. One day, a monk passed through the village and saw the snake. Instead of avoiding it, the monk approached calmly. The snake, surprised by the monk's courage, did not attack. The monk spoke to the snake, saying, "Why do you harm others? You can live peacefully without causing fear or pain." The snake, inspired by the monk's words, decided to change its ways. It vowed never to harm anyone again. However, as time went on, the villagers realized that the snake had become harmless. They began to taunt it, throwing stones and beating it. The snake, true to its vow, did not retaliate, but suffered greatly. When the monk returned and saw the battered snake, he asked, "What has happened to you?" The snake explained its vow of non-violence and how it had allowed the villagers to mistreat it. The monk shook his head and said, "I told you not to bite, but I did not tell you not to hiss. You can warn others without causing harm. There is a difference between kindness and weakness." After sharing the story, Buddha looked at the merchant and said, "Your kindness is like the snake's decision to stop biting. When you allow others to exploit your generosity, you lose the balance that makes kindness truly meaningful. True kindness empowers both the giver and the receiver. It does not lead to resentment or harm." The merchant was thoughtful. "But Lord, how can I practice kindness without feeling taken advantage of? How do I balance generosity and self-respect?" Buddha smiled gently. "By being like the snake that hisses, set boundaries and protect your well-being. Kindness does not mean giving endlessly without thought. It means offering what you can in a way that uplifts others and preserves your inner peace." The merchant's story highlights a universal truth. Kindness must come from a place of strength, not sacrifice. Gautama Buddha's teachings emphasize the importance of mindfulness in every action, including acts of kindness. When we give too much without considering our own needs, we risk depleting ourselves. Instead of feeling joy, we may feel bitterness or exhaustion. Balanced kindness is not about withholding compassion, but about ensuring that our actions align with wisdom and self-respect. It allows us to care for others while maintaining our own peace and happiness. One of the hardest lessons the merchant learned was the power of saying no. In the past, he had always said yes to every request, fearing that refusal would make him appear unkind. But Buddha taught him that saying no, when necessary, is an act of kindness in itself. It prevents dependency, encourages self-reliance, and protects the giver's energy. Saying no does not mean closing your heart. It means opening your mind to what is truly beneficial for yourself and others. When the merchant began to set limits, he found that people respected him more. They appreciated his help when it was given and learned to take responsibility when it was not. Kindness is often seen as a one-way act of giving, but Buddha's teachings remind us that it is a two-way process. True kindness allows for an exchange of energy where both the giver and the receiver benefit. When we give without expectations and receive with gratitude, we create harmony. For the merchant, this meant re-evaluating his relationships. He began to notice which people genuinely needed his help and which ones were taking advantage of his generosity. By focusing his kindness on those who truly valued it, he experienced a deeper sense of fulfillment. Buddha often spoke of the middle path, a way of life that avoids extremes. This philosophy applies to kindness as well. Too much giving without self-care can lead to burnout, while withholding kindness entirely can lead to isolation. The middle path teaches us to practice compassion with balance. For the merchant, the middle path became a guiding principle. He learned to give freely but mindfully, ensuring that his actions were sustainable and meaningful. This balance brought him the peace he had been seeking. Over time, the merchant's life transformed. He continued to help others, but with a new sense of clarity. He no longer felt obligated to meet every demand, and instead focused on acts of kindness that brought true value. The resentment and exhaustion he once felt were replaced by joy and purpose. People in the community noticed the change. They began to respect the merchant's boundaries and appreciated his help more deeply. Some even learned from his example, understanding that kindness, when practiced wisely, benefits everyone involved. The story of the merchant and Buddha's wisdom teaches us an invaluable lesson. Kindness is most powerful when it is balanced. Being too kind without considering the consequences can lead to harm for yourself and others. True kindness is not about saying yes to every request, but about offering what you can in a way that nurtures and empowers. Gautama Buddha's teachings remind us that kindness is a strength, not a weakness. It requires mindfulness, boundaries, and self-respect. Like the snake that learned to hiss, we can protect ourselves while still showing compassion. By practicing balanced kindness, we not only uplift others, but also preserve our own inner peace. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by the demands of kindness, remember Buddha's wisdom. Stop being too kind, not because kindness is wrong, but because kindness without wisdom loses its true essence. Practice compassion with clarity, and let your kindness be a source of joy, strength, and harmony.